Before we begin, I'd like us to settle down, settle in, and tune in to our awareness. There are quite a few people that couldn't make it, so I'm recording it as well. Quite a few people were interested in the topic. We're going to talk about relationships with our closest mirrors, and I'm guessing most of you figured out who our closest mirrors are. It's not just our spouses, but we'll talk more about that. So to begin with, let's tune into our breath, into our heart. You guys have done this, most of you, before. And I have my tincture bells here to settle us into a heart state, which will help us through this festive season as well, so that we can be festive instead of being ego-minded, because that can happen as well when a couple of too many drinks and too many words floating around, loose mouths and stuff like that. But all right, so let's begin. Get comfortable, quieten down your mind and your thoughts. Tune into your breath. Deep in breath through your nose. Deep breath out through your mouth. In breath through your nose. Out breath through your mouth. One more in breath through your nose. Out breath through your mouth. Tune into your heart. We're going to try not putting our hands over our heart, because now we are aware of the heart center. If you're not comfortable with that, then put your left hand in the middle of your chest, right hand over your left hand. Otherwise, go along and tune in to the center of your chest with all your energy and your concentration and your awareness, imagining the energy field of your heart, which is a magnetic field, 5,000 times stronger than your brain. We are magnetic, we are electrical, we are conductors. It's really important to know that we are not static lumps of flesh. We are conductors of our energy and other people's energy around us. And we can draw on the energy of the earth, Mother Earth, our healer, our restorer. Tune into your heart. Try to listen to the sound of your heart. Make sure your legs are uncrossed so that the energy can move up and down. Take your breath to the tips of your toes and channel it all the way up to the center of your heart. On the in-breath, we channel it from the tips of our toes all the way to the top of our heart. In-breath. Let your awareness follow your breath from the tips of your toes, your ankles, calves, knees, hips, spine, into your heart. Activating the heart center, letting it come alive. Breathe out, let it all go back down. Back to the tips of your toes. Again, channel the energy up from Mother Earth into your heart. 1, 2, 3. Pull that energy up from the earth, Mother Earth, into your body, via your legs and your spine, into your heart. Ignite your heart, let it come alive. And on the out breath, let it go back down. Become very familiar with this practice. And then the last one, we're going to draw in as much energy as we can from the earth's magnetic field into our heart center, which is also a magnet. And a deep in-breath, and draw that energy all the way up. 1, 2, 3. Hold it in your heart. Intensify your heart. Intensify the energy field around your heart. Expand that energy field around your heart. And on the out breath, blow it out through your heart. Become aware of the stillness inside you. Become aware of your silent breath. Let your breath move silently with your mouth closed and your nose inhaling and out exhaling. Calm the body. Feel the body. This is the meditation throughout the day, to feel your body. When you become aware of your body, you become aware of your heart. And you become aware that thoughts are separate from your body. Tune into your body. Let the sound of the bell resonate through your body, via your heart. All the attention on your heart and on your whole body. Follow the sound of the bell all the way back to the stillness. Your natural state of being is stillness and joy. Bliss is your natural state. Feel this state. Follow the sound of the bell all the way back to the stillness and bliss that you are. Register this frequency. Stillness, joy and bliss is your natural childlike state. Mind creates the illusion. Body returns to your natural state of being. Become aware of the energy field around your body, around the emptiness, around everything around your body, in the universe, between everything. Between my words there's emptiness. Between the cosmos there's emptiness. Between thoughts there's emptiness. Between everything there's emptiness. Tune your awareness into the background of your life. Emptiness, space, bliss. Set an intention with the universe to get the maximum benefit from this call, and that it may enlighten your way in your life through these unsettling times, and remind you that your heart and your body and the peace and stillness and the space is your natural state of being, and the noise and the thoughts and the madness out there are not real. Your body, the stillness, the space, all real. Wait for the last bell. Make the stillness very known to you. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out, and we can begin. You can wipe your hands over your face, bring that energy with you. Well, let me tell you what I noticed, because I notice from a state of stillness or awareness that I've been training myself and my friends that you are to become aware, very aware of the noise around us. And the noise around us drags us in. It wants us to participate. And right now, I believe that you should not take any major decisions in your life. Any life-changing decisions you should not make right now. I know it's the end of the year, New Year's resolutions. I'm going against that. There is an energy field, and it came through me through dreams as well. Right now, there's a very strong energy field. And whatever that may be, whether it's Venus, and I know the solar flares have been erupting as well, the Schumann resonance, you can see with the new strain coming out, all the rest of it. And of course, if your life looks stable and balanced within the storm, then you're very fortunate. A lot of people's lives haven't been. There's been earth-shattering events that have happened to them. Of course, in context, they're not really earth-shattering, but right now, they appear very real, very real. And you can't tell the difference between the reality and the thing and what's actually going on. And so that's why I thought, even for the people that will be watching the recording, I would put on hold life-changing decisions. So for instance, if you see something happening, unless the roof falls down, you won't be able to wait until the new year, until the dust settles. There is an energetic field that is spurring us on in many ways. And so I was considering some major changes, and I said, "Where's all this coming from? Like, where all this? I mean, why now? And why here in this particular moment in time?" And it's taking me more effort than usual, and it may just be me because the world is a mirror. However, talking to some of my clients, I noticed they're experiencing the same things, and it's very important now more than ever to be aware that there is this energetic field, which you don't have to become worried about or stressed about or anxious about. You don't need that on top of it. You just have to be aware that there is an energy field, and when something comes up that is so sort of apparent, like you need to act and make that decision, and you say, hold on, before I do, let's just wait a bit. Create space, allow the space to absorb whatever is going on, and allow the universe to transmute that into nothingness, which is what we are, the space around us. For me, I returned from a trip to the UK, which exceeded every expectation that I had. I met these people that I thought were decent human beings that I managed to coach with, and what I found was extraordinary human beings. I thought I was generous until I met these people. I was treated like royalty from beginning till end. And one of my friends who's known me for the last 40 years, he said, "Rashad, all of that is confirmation for you." And I said, "You're right, it is, isn't it?" And I don't know what of, but you can guess. And so I was really confirmed. And two of these people are on the call today, Arti and Himal. I had no idea what people you were. Even the day I was leaving, Arti said, "You're on your way, you need anything, everything okay?" I mean, the courtesies, Lena, she's hearing, thank you so much. Really, it was just, I had no idea what kind of human beings they are out there, and was treated with generosity that really took me by surprise. I've been treated kindly all my life, and I've been very lucky. But what I found in the UK, in London, out of all places that could be madness, where people are supposed to be grumpy and the weather's miserable and everything's really difficult and the virus has taken over, man, there were these people that were just beautiful souls. So Arti, Himal, Lena, and everybody else who's not on the call, thank you so much. I have to really. Oh, Maria, I can't believe you see, you got the name Maria, and I'm thinking Greek. Maria. Definitely, Lena, thank you. Arti, Himal, extraordinary, and everybody else. First of all, a pause to say thank you. Yeah. Thank you for bringing it back to me. You're always so humble and pass the thing back. Maybe you just you were just emitting that frequency, and I came into it. So. I was incredibly surprised by the people, and it confirmed me why I'm doing what I'm doing, which is such a major change for me. Some of my friends see me and they say to me, "What do you do?" And I said, "I haven't met a friend. He's in a long time from the UK, and he came here and he's in his 80s." And he said, "So what are you doing?" He said, "Explain this to me, And I told him that, and he was like, "That's so different for you." And I said, "Yeah, I also don't understand it sometimes, But here I am, doing what I do, and I still don't know what I do, and I don't want to know what I do. But Arti, thank you for the suggestion of a mind architect, which is really interesting as well. So all I know is that the entire set of tools and techniques are working. I got confirmation about that. Meeting these people in person, I thought maybe they're just faking it and carrying on like they're really happy and that their lives are actually making sense. And then when I met them in person, when they couldn't hide anywhere, especially Maria, Maria always says, "Coach, you just don't give me a break. You just notice everything." And in person, it would have been even more difficult for her as well. But no, it is that, and so much more. So it also is a confirmation of all of us of what we're doing, is that you don't know, but you follow this thing in your heart, and you say, "No, this must be it. I don't know what it is, but it must be." As long as it's resonating from a place of hope and a place of meaning and purpose, then the universe will confirm that. It comes from a place of lack and a place of fear. And I hope this will work out, because this is not working out. You're not going to find that. If you move away from something, hoping you're going to find something better, I'm almost guaranteeing you that you will find the same thing again. almost guaranteeing you that. And I don't want to say I will guarantee you that. But if you're moving from a place of, I know what this is, and I've dealt with it, and I understand why it's my mirror and why I shouldn't move, then you deal with it, and you make peace with it, and you do the impossible, which is not resisting it, which is the way of Buddha and the Buddha's teaching, and every traditional teaching. If you apply love and compassion and space and non-resistance to it, it vanishes because it's not real. But the moment you engage with it and give a reality to it, it becomes real and it torments you. That's why the Buddha said all life is suffering in your mind. One of my trips, in my trips in London, I met a friend I haven't seen in 15 years, and I didn't realize he became a very well-known acupuncturist, and we started speaking about Zen and about the ancient teachings as well, and about non-resistance, about Buddha, about all this kind of stuff. And it gave me, I said, wow, yeah, he put some more pieces together for me. And he said, yeah, well, you know, you're saying this, it comes from this tradition, you're saying that. So it's me feeling my way, and the universe confirming through these great people who had a lot more time on their hands and a lot more space than I do. And so it's really great to have that confirmation. So does anybody want to say anything to that? So then, the thing that I ended up doing 90% of the time in the UK was relationship work. And I said, I'm not a relationship coach. Well, it turns out I am. I just don't like to be labeled that, right? But right now, the relationship with ourselves primarily, and the relationship with others. Now, when the other is distant, the other doesn't know you and you don't know them. But when the other gets closer and closer, they know you better and you know them better. And when they get really close in your face and they're there all the time, then you really get to see how well you know yourself, not how well you know the other. And that's why I said the more time you spend with me on my journey together, if you're getting to know me better, you know, that I've got a nice beard and my glasses changed color, that's all fine. But if you actually look at me and you say, you know, I met my mentor and my guru, who I've been with for 25 years, and I said, you know, I don't know him any better. I know me better. And that's the proof of it. So if the partner or the person closest to you, child, uncle, husband, wife, brother, sister, those are your challenges. When they, boss, for instance, as well, right? Because the boss sees some side of you as well, and employee, and they start rubbing you up the wrong way, then you've got to notice that the mirror inside of you needs a lot of polishing, which is not something to be despondent about and sad about. It's saying, I don't really know myself. Because whatever winds you up in others exists in you. And a lot of people find that very difficult. They're like, no, I know what you're saying, but this guy here, he's got to die. Because he is an absolute prick. Everybody else, I get the whole Buddhist philosophy and the whole Jungian ideology, Lizanne. But this one here, no, you know, she's different. Now my wife, no, she's in a special category. She don't fit in that category. I'm good. She's got a problem, you know. So yeah, the reality is, whether you like it to admit it or not, the work has to start with you. So it's actually not a difficult thing to understand. Yet the ego mind goes, no. If I accept that, that means there's something wrong with me, and I don't want to look inside of me because it's taken me this long to formulate a plan of action about how good I am. Because the whole time when you're growing up, your parents say, you're not this and you're not that, and your husband says this and your wife. Finally, you form this illusion constructed that I'm a nice person. Really, I am. Because I remember growing up and my friends didn't play with me, then I changed and became this. So I'm a good person. So what I tell them is that you're not going to lose this. You're going to refine this. Most people say, well, if I lose that, who am I going to be? Especially for men. Right? Because I know I do the right thing, and, you know, I know what's right and know what's wrong. No, you don't. So if you do the thing that's opposite to you, which is actually really beneficial to you and peaceful to you, and you let your ego down a bit and you say, let's look at this. What is he talking about here? What does it mean it's in me as well as in them? And you start doing that work and you grow, and guess what happens? That mirror disappears. The partner doesn't disappear. The mirror disappears. In other words, the thing in them that was winding you up the wrong way, when you realize why it should be winding you up the other way, not the wrong way, and you make peace with it. And then when they say those things to you and you've made peace with it, it doesn't do anything to you. Not because you're patient. That's what my client said. I'm doing the same thing. I'm so patient. I'm so putting up with her. I put up with everything. I'm patient. I see it, but I avoid it. I said, no. That's not what I'm talking about here. There's no patience. Patience means that I see what's wrong with her or him or it, but I'm gonna pretend like I didn't see it. What does that do? It creates an alternate resistance, which makes you hate it even more. Because at some point you'd be like, I can't take it anymore. It's in my face, especially when things go wrong, which they will right now. Then you attack, right? And you're attacking yourself there. So what you have to do is say, okay, that's in me. How do I make that peace within me? For an example, she's always critical, or he's always critical. This is a big one, all over the place. He's always criticizing. She's always criticizing. Happens both ways. So what does that mean? That it winds me up the wrong way when someone criticizes. Why does it wind you up when someone criticizes? If I say to you that you're incompetent as a partner and that winds you up, why does it wind you up? Because it's not true? Because it is true? Because they're an idiot and you're not? Well, here's one possibility. Maybe it's true and you don't want to accept that you are not the best partner. And when you accept that you are not the best partner and you look at it within yourself and they say to you, you're not the best partner, you'll say, I've been thinking the same thing myself. Thank you for bringing it to my awareness. Where's the conflict? Where's the conflict? Right? And then in return, you don't say, well, you're also not the right partner, because the amount of sarcasm and smart comments that couples make to each other, which I did as well, is very disheartening. Like the ego loves that. Yeah, I'm all awareness and I saw that in you, but I'm going to let it go. Right? Because I'm all awareness. Like one of my clients just said, so tell me, what are you going to do now? He says, I'm going to be aware of being aware. And I said, what does that mean? And he says, I have no idea. I said, exactly. So ditch that shit, right? Because don't come with the whole, Buddhist kind of stuff. He said, I don't know what that means. So you look at it and you say, am I a bad partner? Or if someone criticizes and you say, well, you never know what to do. And if that winds you up, you take that and you say, the number one thing you do is you say, is that true, what they're saying? Instead of owning it, put it here and say, is that true? You always do the wrong thing. Is that true? And then if you answer that question, you'd say, no, but let's see what they're saying. Now, instead of you owning it because it's not true. So the first thing is it true? I'm always doing the wrong thing. Is it hypothetical? But of course, nobody ever does the wrong thing all the time, especially in a marriage. And so if that winds you up, then you have to look at why you think everything you do is wrong. Because that's why it's winding you up, because you believe that to be true. Whatever you believe to be true about yourself, it hurts. It causes pain. You don't like hearing it. You're a bad mother. You're a bad father. The bad mother thing is a huge trigger, right? What do you mean I'm a bad mother? Why do you need to say that if you know for a fact that you're not a bad mother? But mothers have this thing. I'm not a good mother. Okay, so you're not a good mother. Go look at it and say, why do you think you're not a good mother? Well, a good mother should really be there for a child all the time. And like my wife said, I should be doing more when they're sick. Well, then why don't you do it? What more do you want to do? You gave them a remedy, you called the doctor, you took them to the doctor. What else do you need to do? No, I should do more. Well, now you're just beating yourself up for no reason. Now, if I come up to her and I say, you should do more, what happens? It's a cascade. Because she was feeling that way anyway about herself. And now I unconsciously walked into a suicide mission, right? I didn't even know this was going on. So I'm like, did you call? Of course I called. What do you mean? Are you saying I'm not a good mother? No, hold on. I'm just asking if you called the other doctor. Yeah, but you shouldn't ask me these things because I'm doing a good job anyway. Okay, you are, okay? Put the peace symbol up. But now, if you as the other side, also an ego participant, which are going to lead to a terrible marriage and the children are going to see it as well. You say, but I didn't mean it like that. What do you mean? This is what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm trying to say? And then you participate as well. Then she gets louder, you get louder, and what happens? You say, we'll talk about it later. And then you go for your Christmas dinner. Aarti and Hima, when you find at a Christmas dinner, you see people going, avoiding eye contact with their partners, they left something on the table. They said, we're not going to talk about it. Okay, we're not going to talk about it. No, you should talk about it and make peace. So the first thing you do is say, I'm wrong and you're right. I didn't see that coming. I'm sorry. Why is that so difficult? Why do we all have to pretend like we're right all the time? It's the most terrible destructive force in the world, and is what's brought us to our knees right now, because men want to be right. And women also want to participate. Well, if men are right, then I also want to be right. Normally women in the traditional way would be the ones that's soft and say, okay, tell me why you're right. Because men are, I'm right. Everybody else is wrong. Not just a woman, every other man is wrong. All right, I'm not judging all men, because some men like Himal and Ronald, the only women on the call, that you can see how rare it is, right? Because most of the other men, I don't need to listen to this guy. What does he know anyway? I've got it all figured out, I've read Tony Robbins anyway, so I'm not judging them. So yeah, make peace, not war, right? And what that means is that, so when you find you're at this loggerheads and you can feel, I told a couple, I said, mark my words, both of you are going to die of a dreaded disease. And you know who's going to cause it? You're going to cause it on each other. How do I know this? Because I can see the signs. We don't want to talk about it now. And then they go in for, a checkup. Oh, that happened. Oh, and then you look at where that dis-ease is placed, which can also be removed quite easily if you want to do the work. Otherwise, you're going to kill each other. So what most people say is you're better off alone. Sit in front of your computer, you got Facebook, you can tell your friends, you can just block them, right? You don't like someone, you just click on block and it's done. I mean, thank God for Facebook, right? You don't have to deal with people anymore. All these crummy bunch, you can sit there, watch a movie, YouTube will give you content that you like. Who needs these people, right? In Japan, they don't even have relationships anymore. They have avatars. So there's the woman avatar and the man avatar. And they have conversations. And so they asked the Japanese, don't you miss the intercourse? And they said, it's just fluids going around. It's all dirty. You don't get coronavirus. So we'd rather not have that. We don't need to kiss and touch. This is great for us, right? So that's how we'll become. And you can see how the world is going. Stay at home, take your vaccine, surrender to your laptop, make sure the internet's fast enough. But I'm here to tell you, it's not going to last. We're human beings. We have hearts. We connect to each other. Throughout the generations, this has not worked. So let it come and watch what happens. I don't need to be the one fighting it. I'm not in the fighting business. Let it come and sit in front of your screens for 16 hours a day having your virtual meetings and see what happens to you after that time. And you'll see already it's happening. People are getting lonely. People are getting sad. People are empty inside. So what do? They go online to look at something more stimulating. And the amount of drug usage, especially happy usage, right? Because, marijuana is not considered a drug. It's just something to keep you, Like one of my clients said to me, so how do you switch off? So I said, switch off from what? He said, well, take a break, like soften the load. And I said, what load, right? I don't need to soften the load. But so many people are doing that, and it's going to create, and you can see the rising numbers of depression and suicides and the children. Oh my God, the children. Children need to be hugged and to be held. I don't think anybody on the call here needs justification as why we need human contact. Because I hugged people when I was in the UK repeatedly. Some of the people hugged me like 3 or 4 times. Just Lena hugged me 4 times. She said 3 times. She said, is this real? Like, are we really real? It's what we need. We need to make sure that we're really here. And I had a boss and an employee, and they just weren't getting along. And I told them, walked them through it. And she flew over to the Netherlands. Actually, was in the Netherlands. Andre, you're in the Netherlands, right? Right? And I said, what did you guys say? He said, we didn't say anything. We just hugged and we both cried. 2 women. That's all you need, right? That's all you need. But over this thing here, let's send an email and a voice note. Suicide in relationships. Do not send voice notes, emails, and texts. If you're trying to repair a relationship, do not do that. Say, honey, I'll wait till we meet. Or set up a call, let them see your intention, because on the chat, you can't tell what's wrong. What's wrong turns around like, what's wrong with this guy? He doesn't even care about my feelings. He's just bluntly asking me. And that's why in England, they're so apologetic, making sure you don't misunderstand them. They say 1,000 things. So let me explain to you what I'm saying is about what's wrong before I ask. Like my daughter said to me, she came and she said, look, mom already said yes. as a precondition, right? Now she's going to ask me, just so that I may not go say no in the process and get it all wrong. Very smart, right? So that's why in a lot of places we have to sort of, presuppose any misconstrued ideas. And how you start a conversation and say, look, don't get me wrong. What is the other person's mind going, oh shit, here it comes, right? I said to my friend, look, we need to talk. I really want to talk to you. And he's like, what do you want to talk about? I was like, no, I mean, like, I really want to tell you how amazing you've become. Oh, I didn't know it was that, because you said you wanted to talk. So it doesn't always work out the same. Let me pause there for a second and see if anybody's got, Lisanne's finally smiling. It took a lot to get Lisanne to smile today. Andrea's always smiling. There is a book that's called It Didn't Start With You. A friend of mine, it's such a deeply significant topic. The man who wrote the book was experiencing major eye problems. He was practically losing his eyesight. It was pretty much gone, eyesight, totally. And he went through ayahuasca. First of all, he went through all the traditional avenues of doctors and pharmaceutical avenues, and couldn't restore his vision. Then he went to all the alternative treatments, medicinal plants and all the rest of it. Eventually he went to Indonesia and he met a wise man who was also a healer. And this wise man said, go make peace with your mother. And this man was furious. He said, look, you've come high recommended to me. Give me the tablets and the potions that you're known for. And he said, no, go make peace with your mother. And he went back after he was describing all these events, because it took him 15 years of exploration. He thought he finally found the man that has his solution, because everybody came back from there with tremendous success. And he went back to the US and did the unthinkable, and he made peace with his mother. And I think within 6 weeks, his eyesight was fully restored. And then he went on this whole journey about this trauma and these patterns that inhibit us and haunt us, that we can't see. And sometimes other people can, who've dealt with this so many times. And especially when they're pressing issues that warrant your attention. Loudness, like the body's giving you loud signals, not soft signals. There's soft signals, which you can investigate and understand, and there's really loud signals like losing your eyesight. And so, because in other words, what that man was saying is that you can't see the world you live in unless you make peace with the way your mom treated you. Not that your mom was a good girl and etc. We don't care about that. But there is unresolved things in you that is holding you back, that you have to go make peace with. And that's why my work has been to explore the energetic side of the world. And I'm so glad to bring this to you instead of NLP and psychotherapy and all these other crafts, which are very good for certain situations. However, if I can encompass more of these things, and I've undertaken other studies, and you'll see that in my coaching as well, into further sciences and further arts, which I'll be teaching as well, to make us into these beings that can be of service to people with an entire toolkit of what we can offer ourselves and those around us. So making peace with that partner or that person, Ronald, like your daughter, you can't tell her that she needs to make peace with you for her to move on. You have to make peace with you about her. Now, here's the other thing. People say, I healed because I forgave my father. I just realized that recently with my father. That doesn't do it. Forgiveness is not it. Healing is not it. Everybody's like, oh no, I don't need that. I've already done my healing. I've healed. And then we go into it, and my God, have those worms been lying dormant, and they come out at me. And they look at me like, why are you asking these questions? I've already healed from it. If you heal from it, why such a response to it? Right? Why such a big kickback to it? So for you to heal truly, it means that you have to have sat on their side of the table, went through their past, their situation, and then understood why, through love and compassion, they did what they did. There's no forgiveness needed. There's no healing needed. You know why? Because you didn't get hurt. You were the recipient of something that was being echoed from that side. And fine, if you got beaten up, fine. The scars are healed right now. However, you don't need to heal and forgive someone who may or may not have done something on purpose. And when you go back as I spoke to one of my clients, his father used to hit him. His father used to be drunk. He used to come home crying. I hate doing this. What does he do? Hit him again. What does the son say? My father hates my guts, and he's an evil man. And then I said to him, why does he come back and cry and say, I hate being like this? Did you ever think what was going on through his mind? And of course, at that point, well, it's not about him, is it? It's about me. No, it is. Let's go find out what dad was going through and mom was going through, okay? So, if you have the choice of being alone and being with someone that's obnoxious and annoying, then choose the obnoxious and annoying, because we're all obnoxious and annoying. Trust me, none of us are saints to be with. As much as you think that there's no one more pleasant to be around, we're all obnoxious. Okay, we're all annoying. And whatever annoys us about others are in ourselves. So if you can marry anyone and be with anyone and be in any other company, I said to my wife, I've just been falling in love with these people like so deeply every time. Like, it's just weird what's going on. Like I met this guy and I'm like spending 3 hours a day with him. And he said, Rashad, everything used to irritate you. And you used to judge people and he said, that's why we got along, because he's Irish background. He said, I used to love that. We used to be like, he's a prick, he's arrogant, he thinks he's too smart, she thinks she's like that. And the two of us, and he's like, yeah, me too. Wow, someone I found that finally I get along with, who thinks that there's something wrong with the whole world except myself. And so he was with me and he's going, what's wrong with you? You're not the same guy. And instead I fell in love with him, the real him. And he's like, so you don't find me arrogant like everybody else? And I said, they're not seeing who you are. Or is it that I'm seeing who I am finally? And that's why I can tell you, the proof is there in me. I'm not the guru and the priest and the nice guy who's sort of sermoning from the pulpit, as they call it. I'm not into that business. So, but I've noticed it in my life. And you can see those people that have encountered me, is that if they see pure love in you, then you are pure love. And when they rub you the wrong way, then you still have work to do. So polish your own mirror. And if you're in a terrible relationship, stay there. Right? And most people would say, get away. Now, I'm not talking about abusive relationship here, okay? Anissa, or whoever else comes to mind, because Anissa would be like, yeah, but don't you mean, yeah, I get that. That's common sense, right? We're not talking about major issues. There's some point where you have to leave. There's some point where you must leave. Because you only have two options in that situation when the situation becomes impossible. Fully accept it and embrace it. Or number two, change the situation. But suffering is not an option, right? You know the saying, pain is inevitable. Suffering, however, is entirely optional. And if you're suffering, then you're a victim and you're not owning up and taking responsibility. Andrea, you've done a lot of work and you know exactly what I'm talking about. So I'm going to let you say something if you'd like to. The thing you mentioned, Andrea, which is quite significant, they said, who's to blame for all the misery on the planet today? Walt Disney. Because they sold us a dream that the story starts like this and everybody lives happily ever after. When in life, it starts off maybe with the wrong expectation, but if you start off with the expectation, this is going to be hell, it's going to be suffering, but somewhere in that, I'm going to find peace and bliss, and then you see the end of every movie is like that, right? It starts out and they fall in love and then they go through a little bit of thing and then they're chasing each other and the train's going away and I changed my mind, and they finally catch the train and it all happens like that. No, it doesn't. It's exactly what Anissa and Andrea are saying. As you go through that and then in all the pain, you look back at the relationship and you say, I can see the love that it taught me. Now it's time for me to go. You go on your train, I go on my train. But until you haven't seen the illusion of yourself, then you get onto another person hoping to catch that train, hoping that that person's going to complete you in some way or the other. The other thing, so thank you for that. The other thing that I wanted to mention on the call is that we attract what we lack in a partner. We don't attract what we want in a partner. We attract what we don't have. Most people don't get that. They're like, oh no, because she had blue eyes and such a nice smile. And the common thing about women is like, he made me laugh. Yeah, after a year, until he, puts his socks on the floor and forgets to pick them up, and then no longer is he making you laugh, and the two of you are making each other quite miserable. So if you marry someone because they make you laugh, remember one day they're going to make you cry. So rather not go on that criteria about making you laugh. The other thing is, if you think about your fears, and this is, Anissa, it's a good point that before you jump into it, look at what you fear and what you're hoping that your partner does not fear. So we attract what we haven't worked on in ourselves. You recognize, like my wife, I'll tell you, I said to her, I was thinking about this whole thing and, doing some research on it. I thought, why did I choose you? And she said, well, what did you like about me? And I said, you know what? I thought you had no fear. She said, what? Me as a woman had no fear? I said, yeah, I thought you were just so courageous. What does that say about me? What was I lacking? Courage. I was afraid. And I'll tell you one thing, when I'm going through the journey and we're talking to clients, the one thing men want to overcome is fear. The one thing women want to overcome, it's nothing to do with fear. They don't mention it. Yet, if you look at who's the strongest species, it's supposed to be the men. But the thing that men grapple with is fear and lack of courage. Women have no issue with this, which is it blew me away, right? So now I choose her because I think that she's courageous. This is unconsciously done, not consciously done, right? You say, oh, I'm attracted to her because of this, or, I'm attracted to him because he does this for me, or he's confident. So if he's confident, what does it say about me? I'm lacking in confidence. So do I go marry the thing I'm lacking, or do I work on my confidence? If I'm insecure about life and you find this other person who's very secure, you say, well, they got a good income and good job and I will be secure, until they're not. So we go in with these lacks, and in the beginning, the honeymoon phase, it's all la-di-da, right? And then what you don't realize as a mirror, which is a mind-blowing fact, is that you're changing all the time. And they're changing all the time. So what attracted you about them, they no longer have that. Because they've changed. The other thing is, because you're changing, you no longer need that in somebody. So you look at them and they're courageous and you say, well, and then they say, we just don't get along anymore. We just don't see eye to eye anymore. Why? Because they don't need you anymore. They don't feel complete. You know how people say, you complete me, my love. It's a bunch of crap. You should complete yourself, right? If someone's going to complete you and that someone goes, what happens to you? You're still incomplete. So then we go as incomplete into a marriage. Then we leave this incompleteness and we jump onto another incomplete marriage, hoping, look, that person, he doesn't look like this guy. He's so different. He's not courageous. Because then you compare the two partners. Like, that's weird because, your first husband, he was so courageous and this guy's an absolute loser, right? He doesn't look courageous at all, but you're attracted to him? Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with me. No. You don't need that anymore. So now you want the guy who rides the motorbike and takes daring risks in life. When in the past you wanted the accountant with a nice house and a safe job and a mortgage. Now you're looking for this, right? Because you don't need safety anymore. You need some fun now. You need to let your hair out, right? Until, what? Exactly. That's the words we use. Right. Who's the better half? Good point. The better half, my better half. All these words, everything in the English language hides what they actually mean. Right? So then we change, they change. We don't need what they have anymore, and they don't have what we need anymore, and that's when we go apart. So, as some of you who are not married, some of you, well, not many, but I say, please do not jump into a relationship, okay? Because you're going to find your mirror. You're going to find that person that completes you, your better half, Andrea, until you realize that you didn't do the work into why I'm afraid of this. So before you say, oh, he's so funny. Well, are you a sad case yourself? Why are you funny? Now, oh, he's got a good sense of humor. Do you know what that means? He laughs at my jokes when nobody else does. That's what he's saying. That's what you're saying. Because I'm not funny and people don't find me funny and he's got a good sense of humor, therefore he will laugh at my bad jokes because I'm really bad at making jokes. So here's the thing. Forget about his good sense of humor. Go make yourself funny. Make yourself realize why do you need to be validated with your jokes by somebody? If someone finds you funny, does that make you feel validated? Well, that's your problem. You shouldn't need validation. And a bad joke is interpretation. So go do the work on yourself instead of finding someone that's funny, someone who's secure and kind and compassionate. All this kind of stuff. He looks so kind, right? Until he brings the mistress home. Right? And then, was he kind? Yeah, he was still trying to be kind. It's like, honey, look, it's not that I don't like you. I just like the new blonde as well, right? At the same time. You're so nasty. No, honestly, I'm still the same guy. I just got a mistress with me, right? It doesn't work, right? So the same guy that was sweet and kind now becomes, and it works the other way. I mean, a lot of men are having the female problem. In other words, the men are saying, there's a power struggle going on here. She doesn't let me do what I want. She's always critical of me. This was the language before in the past used to be how women used to talk about men being dominating. It's all changing now. And the women, still trapped in the old divine feminine, are going, what do you mean I'm aggressive? I'm not aggressive. I'm here. What? Yeah. All right, good question. And is that very good question? That's why you're such a good coach, because you ask the right questions. So, by nature, the Chinese have the answer, the Indians have the answer, because the reason why they have it and the Europeans don't is because a lot of their culture and their history was burnt and destroyed. And then there was a major upheaval, which didn't give us access to that. So if you look at the ancient Indians and you look at the ancient Chinese, the Chinese say that women is like water, man is like rock. If you look at water, it's open, it flows, it allows. Okay? It's this receiver, it's the vessel that allows. And man is like rock, it's strong, it's pushing out. If you look at the organs as well, you can see one is outward and one is inward, right? So, and one houses life and the other one takes life, right? And so, but what the Chinese say is that water will always conquer rock. But not because of water's hardness, it's because of water's softness. So eventually, it takes more time. Water always gets what it wants, always. And that's why men have to take the feminine attitude to life. Instead of fighting, resisting, insisting on being right, be the female in you. Because before the sexes were put into us and the organs were put into us, we were souls without a sex. And this heinous crime that they're doing right now is to make little girls and boys think about their sexuality, which is on another level of messing up your head. So before we put in these organs into us, we were souls, okay? And so women, by nature, the female, the water will always get its way. And Lao Tzu and the Tao Te Ching and all the Indian masters talk about the feminine energy. It is the superior way. It is the way of allowing, opening, surrendering, accepting. And what we want to do is take on the male energy, which destroys itself. So when the female takes on the male energy of rock, and rock goes against rock, both are destroyed. Not one, both are guaranteed to be destroyed. Because the man cannot become the other thing. Man is rock. So man is when man becomes a soft rock, it gets destroyed even harder. Because the man that's been wobbling, not being confirmed by the woman to be the rock, because the woman's no longer the water, the man becomes a soft rock. And when the soft rock of a woman, who's not rock, comes against it, both are destroyed, both will end in suffering. That's why you find a lot of European men go to the East and they say, oh, I'm done with this European women. They're too opinionated and they have too much to say. And then they go to Thailand or to Bali or to China or India and they say, oh, I love her. She just does whatever I says and she never objects to me. Right? And that's what they want. That's what they think they want. But these women have been around and they know the ancient story for a very long time. They know that water always gets what it wants. So they come up, honey, you're the best. You're just amazing. You know, can I get a new handbag and a new house? And my mother is sick. And the man's like, all right. Because they're not doing the whole thing. Whereas in the West, you find, well, I deserve as well to have a nice handbag, don't I? And the man says, well, you think you deserve, what about me? Because now the man is taking on these, and then it's just going to have on endless conflict. So Anissa, embrace the divine feminine, and women and men take on the feminine qualities of allowing, but don't lose your maleness as well. And so the idea is for us to confirm each other's strengths and not to conflict with it, to try to make them into the opposite, because that's where we get destroyed. And the whole gender thing that's popped up is creating more. And now as adults, we had that confusion. And when you inculcate that into a child that is still trying to figure its way out into the life, we're guaranteed to have the end of society, and then we can all be on Facebook and be alone and be happy, finally happy by ourselves, right? Because we don't need friends. We need a good PS2, PS3 with a good internet connection, and we don't have to socialize with these awful human beings anymore, which is not what we want, right? Yeah, and I totally get that. And if God had to choose between who to house one of his own, to cause an act of creation within themselves, and they chose women. I mean, you know, they didn't choose men. They are creators. They're housing a living human being within them. So they are so godlike. It's unmistakable why they are this way. And that's just not the only thing. I mean, that's my whole search has been to embody the female qualities in me. So thank you to all the females in my life, because I said it's only because that I got to know my wife for who she actually is, rather than who I thought she was to me. She's not this to me and she's not that to me. Now I'm getting to understand what women are like, and I'm like, you guys are just tough cookies. They don't even have fear. I mean, men they're afraid of certain other things, but not the thing that you'd expect them to be afraid of, right? So yeah, and when women, you have all girls, exactly. I'm just so blessed, right? All day I'm around that, and my mother-in-law saw the photo of me with all these women at the venue in London, and she said, "Did you see all the women that was?" She said, "Aren't you worried?" And she's like, "No. Why should I be worried?" She's like, "No." You know, and it was so funny. And then she was telling me that story, you know, and it's my absolute blessing and pleasure to be surrounded. And thank God I found people like Lao Tzu and like in Buddha. They all teaching men. Yoga was invented for men, by men. Did anybody get this? Why? Because men are rigid and stubborn and righteous. That's why they need yoga, because they can soften up and become feminine. But what happened? The women took it all on. They're like, oh yeah, I like that. Of course you like this, it's you. The men need to do this because they're stiff and they're rigid and they're inflexible, right? And they're going to destroy themselves by being rocks. They need to take on yoga and flexibility, ease the mind. And Himal, I find out recently, is a certified yoga. Next time you're going to teach us yoga on the yoga. What are you, Himal? In the cold London weather. And I'll be definitely coming back to London soon. I was just overwhelmed by the people there. So, any other thoughts, or can we finish off with stillness? Please, guys, remember, there are unsettling times. Don't get caught in a headwind. Allow the wind. Be the feminine energy. All you guys out there, don't go fight it and say, don't. And the fatal question to ask right now, is, how am I doing? Do not ask that. It's a trap. Because the only way you'll get that answer is by referring to your mind and your circumstances. And when you look in your mind and your circumstances, you won't find happiness there. And you'd say, yeah, I'm not doing so well. Do not go there. Do not ask how you're doing, because you're fine. That's all that matters. You're in the present moment. And remember, by nature, is what I posted on WhatsApp, is that you are enlightened beings. You are complete and you are pure love. And the only thing that takes you away is by you participating in whatever noise that you see in front of you. So don't do that. Don't allow yourself. Go back to your natural state of being. Right? Which is what Ramana Maharshi was saying, is that your natural state of being is the oasis. You are the oasis. There is water, there is a breeze, there's date palms, there's ease. And when you get into the mind-made nonsense, you become in the hot desert sun and you're burning and you're suffering. So when that happens, immediately return to the oasis. Wherever you are, you're in the oasis. You are the oasis. You don't have to become something. You don't have to go on a journey and, hire a therapist. You are that. And what I do is show you why you are that. I don't tell you what's wrong with you. Because if there's something wrong with you, then you're not perfect. Then I'm not perfect. You are the oasis, Lizanne. Thank you for coming on the call and seeing all you beautiful, wonderful oases out there. I think that's the right word, Lizanne. Is it oases? Well, go look it up. Well, either way, we will finish off with some tincture bells. Have a blessed Christmas, New Year. Don't make any decisions. No New Year's resolutions this year. Do that in the first week of February. You don't have to, but I'm not going to. I never do anyway, because I don't buy into that New Year's kind of thing. But yeah, or you could make a New Year's resolution to not make any New Year's resolutions anymore. That could be one you could do. Is to be the best possible you, which is who you are right now as well. You can decide to be who you are right now. How's that, Lizanne? Is that good? All right, so let's take this energy of the stillness and the oasis and the bliss that is in our body and in our heart, not in our head. Take that with you throughout the festive season. And when the new year starts, when you say, what the hell am I doing here? I should be doing something different this year. Yes, you are supposed to be doing something different, but not externally, internally. Your reactions, your participation, and the bliss you're finding, that's your New Year's resolution. Not to go and do a new job and get a new something else, a new boyfriend or whatever else that you want to file. Or a new child. A lot of people like to ditch their current set of baggage for a new one. All right, so let's relax and finish off with our hearts. Tune into your heart center. Tune into your body's energy field. And you can use your breath as I showed before. Let's do one so you remember. In breath to the tips of your toes and breathe out through your heart center. In breath through the tips of your toes. Channel that breath all the way up. You can either release it down back to your feet or out through your heart center. Let's do it out through our heart center. Tips of your toes, out through the heart center. Out through the heart center. Last one, in through the toes. Hold the breath in. And choose to have the intention of releasing everything that doesn't serve you anymore on this out breath. And on the out breath, let it all out. Feel the emptiness inside your mind. Feel the awakening and the body's energetic field powering up. The heart's magnetic field that is attracting whatever it wants. Keep the mind at bay. Become aware of the stillness. Wait for the sound of the bell. Become aware of the oasis that you are, the aliveness of your body, the child that you were born as, the pureness before you took on male or female ego personalities, innocent, sweet child who doesn't know about suffering and grief and all the other mind-made stuff. Return to that state of the oasis. And the way to do that is to disconnect from all the noises in your mind. I should have, why didn't I could have, all of that is irrelevant. Tune into your body's energetic field, stillness inside your heart, the joy inside your heart, the love for everything and everyone inside your heart, and especially for yourself, as you are, complete human being. With all your imperfections, you love them all, because that's who you are, perfect as you are. Love your perfection. Smile as you recognize that you are perfect. There's nothing lacking from this moment. It is complete. It is whole. It is bliss. It is joy. It is stillness. And that's what you are. All these things. Relax your eyes. Relax your eyebrows. Relax your forehead. Relax your cheek muscles. Tune into your forehead. Tune into the scalp. Tune into your ears, your cheeks, your chin, your nose, your mouth, your lips. Celebrate all these wonderful parts of you. How magnificent they are. Let your smile be how you carry yourself throughout the day. The smile on the outside on your face, let that carry from your heart into your smile. For your heart smiling, Chinese practice of Qigong, feel all your organs smiling. That same smile on your face, feel your heart smiling like that. Your liver, your pancreas, your gallbladder, your belly, your sexual organs, your lungs, your kidneys, adrenals. Huge smile on your face, huge smile on them. Your blood pressure, your insulin, your sugar, everything's regulating perfectly. Your immune system supercharged, huge smile on its face, ready to receive and transmute into love anything that comes that is foreign, that is friendly always. Everything around us is inside of us. And when we're at imbalance, then everything around us is in balance. We are in balance, we are smile, we are joy, we are light, we are open, we allow. We create space for everything, everyone, in every place, in every time. We resist nothing. We allow everything. We are not even here. We're just part of the balance of the universe. When we become empty space, the universe flows through us. When we create resistance, we suffer. Let life do what it's always done. It knows what it's doing. It's been doing it for 4.6 billion years. Be the allowance. Be the receptor, the space, the openness. Be the channel for joy and bliss to arise so we can become the lights for the people around us. Non-resistance. Allowing. And connect to the female Mother Earth, our powerful guide. Let the stillness be what you carry around you through these times. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out, returning back to the oasis that you are. You can open your eyes. Stay there if you'd like to, or say goodbye when you'd like to. Put some music on if you can, some sweet melodies that you deserve to listen to. And choose peace. And choose love. Take care, guys. See you all next year. Bye.